So my first one today is a air conditioning company. And it is in about 3 minutes. And it's a small little location, so it shouldn't take long at all. I'm giving myself a minute. They cleaning the street over here. I don't know. I guess they were not actually cleaning the street. They were cutting down some limbs. And so I parked on top of the limbs. So anyway, he asked me what I move up some so that he can get the limbs up. So I'm letting him do that. Well, not limbs, leaves. Okay. And then once he finishes, I'm going to back this thing up in my spot and get out. I be doing the most sometimes. Bad. My eyes are tight. Oh my goodness. But at least I have everything I need and ready to go. I'm gonna get over here and see what we got, what we working with. Seems like he done moved, yep. And then didn't even wait me and say, okay, you can back up. See what I'm talking about? He looked at me kind of crazy, so he might have been irritated that I even parked there. But hey, don't put a pile of leaves inside of the only parking space left on the street. Because I slowed down in the front and thought about it, said, I don't know how long it may take me. They may be taking too long. And now I'm over there with feeding the meter. I don't want to feed the meter. And so yeah, that part. But we're gonna go over here and I'm gonna see what they got going on. It says 1,500 square feet, so we're gonna see if it is or if it's not. Paperwork isn't too thick, so I ought to be able to handle it and get out with no problem. So see you guys on the flip. So this location took me 22 minutes, and it was an air conditioning company. They supply HVAC. They're an HVAC heating and cooling company. They repair HVAC systems and supply anything that the customer may need pertaining to HVAC. Period. That's all they do. So it was a pretty easy, simple, breezy location. Of course, he had fire extinguishers, but they were not serviced. But he says he just bought them. He just don't know where his invoicing is to show he just bought them. So I just let him know that he'll probably get a recommendation because there's no tags on them. And he can supply whatever he has to prove. Oh, it's so dark. He can supply whatever he has to prove that he just purchased. Okay. So everything else was easy breezy at that location. All right, so the next one is taking me completely out of my norm. All right, I normally will, stay within route, but today I'm not going to stay within route because I have one that he was kind of giving me a little issue, and so I decided I would throw him in there in the mix of what I got going on. So let me explain. He answered all of the questions over the phone, but he's one of those that you may run across here or there where they're talking about how they've owned a business for 10 years, 20 years, and they've never had to endure an inspection, you know, all of that good stuff. All right. So with that being said, he didn't want to have to deal with going inside of a unit at all. And I was like, well, sir, I need entry into a unit. And he's like, oh, well, I don't understand why you have to have entry into a unit. I don't feel like I should have to let the tenants know anything about going into a unit, blah this, blah that, you know, all that stuff. And I was like, okay, so are you telling me that you are not granting me access to the unit? I need to hear you say that I am not being allowed to go inside of a unit, sir. And he says, no, well, there's no need to go in a unit. I said, okay then, well, I'll just fit you in on whatever day I can get over there and get these images done on the outside. And if you have time to answer some questions, can you do that? And he was like, sure, I can answer some questions for you. So he got these questions answered. So with that being said, I didn't want to throw it in on another day. I do have other this is in Burbank. I do have other locations that I have to do in Burbank. Let me see here. If I'm not mistaken, I do. I have one tomorrow. Well, no, I had one tomorrow that was supposed to be in Burbank, but he called and asked me could he reschedule due to a funeral. So I slid him on that Forbidden Thursday. All right. And the only reason why I did that is because someone else had already, pretty much begged me to do Thursday as well. I was like, okay, so it looked like I'm going to be working on Thursday this week. Okay. So with that being said, tomorrow I won't be going in that area at all. So there's no need in going that way. I have a full day on this side of town. So that won't work. And Wednesday, I do have one in Burbank first thing in the morning. But I have my schedules after that run 1, 2, 3, 4 of them that's going to take me into Santa Monica. So I will be heading out of Burbank going into Santa Monica. Now, I was trying to figure out a way that I could kind of fit this one in and just get those pictures really quick. But according to this, it may be like probably 10, 15 minutes away from the other one. And this first one is like first thing in the morning. And I'm not even going to give myself that pressure. All right. So we're going to go to Burbank and just knock these photos out. And then we'll take it from there. Snippy people. Man, snippy people. Guys, I almost changed my mind. Okay, because I'm looking at my file. It was still on my mind that I had a Burbank for tomorrow. I had to remind myself while I was driving through Hollywood that I don't have a Burbank for tomorrow because he canceled and rescheduled for Thursday. So I won't be nowhere near this area tomorrow either. I could wait and come Thursday if I had an actual option to do so. And I still did have an option, but I just was like, you know what? Let me go on ahead and knock this out today. Like I said I was going to do. Let's do what you said you was going to do. And besides, this grumpy dude, he was like, what time you going to be there? What time you going to be at the location? So what time you going to be at the location? So I don't even know if he's going to even pop up or not. I don't know, but, I gave him a timeline like how the... what do you call them? The cable guys do you. You call them and tell them you need them to come do something. And they give you that long broad. I told him anywhere between 11 and 1:30. Okay. So anyway, he's expecting me to have done it today. So I'm going to go ahead on and do it. And just stick to what I said I was going to do and handle my business. Okay? But I did today what I be telling you guys not to do as far as setting your appointments, going from one side of the city to the other. But... it's something that needs to be done because I just have to get this inspection out of here, okay? When I'm dealing with grumpy people, I get them done as quickly as I can. So, yeah, I needed to go ahead on and get this one knocked out so I don't have no problems. And he answered all of the questions, but, I still always go out with my board, because we be having nosy people, all right? I don't need nobody calling them folks because they see somebody creeping around the building. No, we ain't gonna do that today. Okay. I told him I was gonna come, so I am here to go on ahead and knock it out. Plus, when I was coming through town, when I hit directly in the center of Hollywood, it was on my mind. Go on ahead and go home because your next appointment isn't until 1:30. And it was a little after 11:30. So going to go home. But I knew if I went home, I wasn't going to be doing much of nothing anyway within that time frame because I still was going to have to leave in plenty of time just to get to my 1:30 appointment. So I'm looking at an hour and a half in the house. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to go on ahead and do this. It'll at least give me something to do. The one that is at 1:30 is the one that, if you guys follow me, then you know about the one where I went to this beauty parlor and the guy just didn't show up, didn't call or nothing. I'm calling him, he's not answering, he's not responding to voicemail or nothing, but we've been texting and talking all throughout the week, and now you decide you just not gonna call, you're not gonna show up or nothing. And then I called the location, the actual property company, and come to find out he's sitting in there. She puts me on hold, and I'm hearing the same ringtone, well, the little sing tone, while I wait on him to get on the phone. I was like, okay, so the number that I was calling him was directly in his office space anyway. He just decided he wasn't going to answer me, but he answered her and then ends up on the phone and had the nerve to tell me that it crossed his mind. But I really much prefer to do my appointments in the morning anyway. What? So you really just felt like you had a choice. You know what? I was irritated that day for sure. But I didn't turn it in and decide, I'm going to turn this in and go ahead and get rid of this, and then they just pay me for my effort. You know what I'm saying? Because when they pay you for your effort, it's only $15. All right. But if I do the inspection, it's $125. 125, 125. Which one I'm gonna take? Okay, ding 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 on the 125. So I rescheduled him today, and I told him, look, don't pull no moves today, sir. So that gives me time, gives me something to do. So I'm going to go over here and knock these images out. I would show you guys, but I did not come equipped for that. And I need the same phone I'm using that I would normally record for you guys to take my pictures. Okay. So I'm going to run over here and do this, and then we're going to go back into the city for my next appointment. See you on the flip. So this location actually didn't take me but 6 minutes. See. And that almost make me wish I would have put it on Thursday too. But it was only 6 minutes because everything is open, as you can see from the back. The whole building is open. And I was able to get it taken care of. But he answered all of the questions beforehand. And he told me that there's no sprinkler system. There is a sprinkler valve. I see it in the middle. There in between the walkways. And I also see sprinkler valve shut off on the outside wall too. So apparently he either told me that there was no sprinkler system because he had been getting his service, or because he knew he didn't actually most definitely was not going to come over here, and he didn't want to have to unlock any doors for a sprinkler system. See, everybody doesn't have some sort of management company that they use. Majority of them don't, for the most part, and they manage their own properties. And since he was determined not to show, that would tell you why all of a sudden there's no sprinkler system. But at least I was able to get it done quick in a hurry. Everything is taken care of, and I knocked that out 6 minutes. Okay. Woohoo! All right. And since he had already answered the questions, I had already put the answers inside of the system anyway, so all I gotta do is just put these pictures in there and let that one fly. All right, so the next one, of course, like I said before, is that parlor over in that shopping plaza. So I'm pretty sure that there's not going to be no parking spaces. I don't know. It is now 12:23, and the next appointment isn't until 1:30. So I'm going to go on ahead and go over there. I'm not going to pass my way. I mean, I have to go by there, but I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going to this location and find me a park and either make a phone call or two, because someone has called me this morning and I called them back. They didn't answer their phone and there's no voicemail. And then they called me again. That's my fault. But when I realized they called me again, I called them back. No answer. And then a few moments ago, they called me. So I'm going to get to the next location first, because I'm tired of that, cat and mouse chase. I'm not going to do that. I thought that I would probably be having to measure off some stairwells, but come to find out I didn't have to do it. I didn't have to use my little gadgets today over here at all. A lot of times I get out, I don't have to use them. I get lucky. The stairwells are just regular stairs with a rail on the wall, the center stairs. So they didn't have any railings, so that was a plus. That's why I was able to get through so fast. So we're gonna go to the next location, and I'm gonna park this car and pray that this man shows up this time, so that I can go on ahead and get him out of my system too. All right, let's go. All right, so I've made it over here to this location, and of course it's around the block. You guys saw me just bust that U-turn. There's never any parks, and when I looked over in the plaza, there was no parks over in there either. This is the one with the beauty parlor that I had to reschedule, and hopefully he shows up. The location says address, one particular address for the beauty parlor, but that's not the address. The address that's on the file is for one of the other units. So clearly the person who is insured here probably owns that whole strip. But I will find out, and yeah, that would explain why it's $125 though, for real. So I'll find out when I get over there. I had to call someone as soon as I got here because she was leaving me messages, because I told you guys I will call and then do a email too, which is one reason why I'm able to set my appointments and have so many in a day. When I get a bunch of files, I'll call them, and if they don't answer and I leave a voicemail, I'll put it in a stack and keep going and keep doing all of them, and whichever ones that actually answer to where I can actually set the appointment, I'll go ahead and set theirs. But the other ones with voicemails, once I'm finished, if they have an email on it, I'll go right around behind it and go ahead and send them an email too. That way, hopefully I'll get an answer much quicker than waiting on someone who is just ignoring a number that they don't know. Okay, who is this calling me? And then, you know, a lot of people don't check their voicemails, so, but the majority of them will see their emails. Okay, so it is now 1:18, and this appointment is for 1:30. It's not hot, it's a little breezy going on, so I'm gonna go over there, take that walk again back over here to this location, and hopefully he's already there. And if he pulls this mess again today, don't show up today, y'all hear me talk to you? If he pulls it today, that's it. All right, because I'm not going to continue to deal with that. I won't need this, so I'm gonna put it up. I am not going to continue to deal. So let me take this walk and let's see what happens. I'll let you guys know if it's a whole plaza, if it's the whole thing, or what we got going on. I hope it ain't no commercial kitchen over there. Oh, see you guys on the flip. So now I still got to give him 10 minutes. Yeah, because he's not here, but he did answer his phone. Told me to give him 10 minutes. And I don't know if you guys see the paint behind me, all of this fresh paint behind me. If you remember the last video when I came over here and I was stood up, all of this was graffitied. Now it's painted, all of the front is fresh. Like, is that why you didn't come? You guys were trying to fix the building before I got here? Either way it goes, you know what I'm saying? Just show up. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm just talking, I don't know for sure. I don't know. It just reminds me of the dude with the ones that I had spoke on before, where the guy had these units. He had 5, 6 locations, and he wanted all of them to be done on one day, and then all of a sudden he just dropped off and disappeared, and I blamed it on the fire. I thought that maybe it was because of the fire, the reason why we didn't get that inspection done, and then he just ups and calls me out of the blue one day. But no, I'm gonna take that back. He didn't call me. He shot me a text out of the blue and said, "Are you going to inspect my buildings, or do I have to get myself another inspector?" Okay, first of all, I didn't even know who the number was from, because it had been a minute. And then when I texted back and I asked him, I said, first off, who is this and what properties do you own? And he said, we talk all the time. We've talked all the time. I said, I get that we've talked all the time, but we are not friends. So it's not like I know who you are when you contact me. I talked to several people, you know. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you can get another inspector if you want. I don't care. You know, some of these people can come off very rude at times. He just insisted on me doing his properties because apparently I've done a few other properties of his. So the way it looks, he owns a whole slew of properties around in the Los Angeles area. But anyway, I didn't have the files anymore. The files were taken from me. I had been dealing with him since the 11th of November. So the files were taken. So he called me after we had a little brief conversation over text, and he said the reason why he couldn't set the appointment is because he was having problems getting a hold of tenants. All of November, December, January, February, 4 months. It took you, you having a problem to get, you know what? Sometimes they'll say anything to you, okay? Anything at all to be able to get around the fact that they didn't show up. I told them it didn't take nobody that long to get a hold of no tenants. Do you not own the locations? Okay, so when you have people come and fumigate the location, if they don't let you in, do you not unlock the door? It didn't take that long. So anyway, long story short, he says, I told them to give your files back, give my files back to you. Oh my God. So then I get one file. And he just keeps calling and texting and calling and texting, you know, wanting to know, can we get it done as soon as possible? And I'm not free during the week. It's going to have to be on Friday afternoon, late Friday evening around 5 o'clock. And first of all, I don't have your files, and I'm not doing any inspections on Friday evening at 5 o'clock. But that's what he wanted. He wanted all of the inspections to be done around 5 o'clock on a Friday. Plus, they didn't give me but one of his locations. And that location that I got, it's not mingled with the rest. See, it's 6 of them, I think. Or is it 5? I don't know. But a lot of them are all around the block. And it's one that's not all around the block. It's actually in another area. That's the one they gave me. So I let him know, look, they've only given me one of your files. That is it. They returned one back to me. So do you want to go on ahead and set up a date and time to get this appointment done? So then he goes ghost again, because now he's mad. Because he wants all of them done at one time. I just simply let the company know, look, this dude right here is giving me trouble, and I have been dealing with him since the 11th of November. Please, if you don't mind, take that file, and whoever you gave the rest of them to, let them have that one too. They told me that they hadn't given the rest of them to anyone. Eventually, they was going to give them to me. They just didn't get around to it. I told her, well, go on ahead and X that out. Okay. X that out and let someone else have all of his files. Because I'm done dealing with that dude. Like, geez, you are not in control of this whole scenario. You are not. The inspectors are. The insurance carriers are. And just for them to take it, see, you know, I'm just gonna, because I don't know for sure, so I'm just talking, okay? I'm irritated. But, you know, money talks, right? Money talks. And when a person owns these many properties all around LA, apparently, you know, they fluent with money, right? So apparently this guy has all of these properties, and in order for him to be able to call them and tell them that I want you to give all of my appointments to a particular person, and they obey and give them to me just like he asked. And then instead of them canceling him out after all these months, he calls up and says, look, I'm here now and I'm ready. So now these files show back up. This one person, okay, I see you got pulled, but you got to get somebody else to do your inspections because I can't deal with you anymore. As a matter of fact, I told him if I received all of the files, I put all of them on either Tuesday or Wednesday of this week. And that was because when I talked to him originally, the last time, it was the beginning of last week, and my Tuesday and Wednesday was not full yet. So I told him I'll put him in on this week. Pick a day and make sure your files come. And he was like, well, they'll send them to you now. They'll send them to you now as we speak. Like he worked in the business, like he worked there. I don't know what he was thinking, but they did not. And then they sent one on Thursday afternoon. One, okay? Now he's hot. He's chili pepper hot. He done decided he ain't gonna talk no more. That is just insane. It's insane. He'll get mad. So he gonna have to let somebody else deal with him. I had to cut him loose. So anywho, I think it's been 10 minutes at least. Maybe it's been 10 minutes since I actually decided to walk around here. So I'm gonna go around here and see is he over here so I can get this knocked out. I see a bakery. I see another little restaurant. It looks like it's finna be commercial galore, but I'm not sure because I didn't go inside of any of them. But we'll find out. See you on the flip. So I've been actually at this location for an hour. The inspection was due, the inspection time got me combobulated again. The inspection time, it was due for 1:30, and it is now 2:30 on the dot, and I am just leaving out. And that's because there were actually 6 units, not one, but 6 that was owned by the property manager. By the property owner. And out of those 6, there was a bakery and 2 restaurants with commercial kitchens. Okay, and then on top of that, because I still move swiftly, right? On top of that, some of the locations we went in, at least 2 of them for sure, didn't want to allow us to inspect the unit because they didn't know. Apparently, this guy that I met did not tell them that we were coming. And he tells me that he forgot to send an email and he forgot to call them. I said, come on now, you're doing too much. Last week you didn't show, and then you ignored me, and you rescheduled for this week, and you still didn't tell the tenants. So they're refusing to let us do the actual inspection inside of the unit. And I told him that we're either going to get them done or I'm going to have to mark them off and just let them know that we couldn't get inside of those units and call it a day. Because the owner of the location knew that we were coming, knew that we had this inspection that had to be done today, and they are the tenants. They are not the owners of the building. The inspections is for the insurance for the owner, not the tenant. So the fact that they don't want you to snap a photo inside of their unit, I think is crazy. They're not. They don't own it. They don't own the location. Oh my goodness. So I find myself standing around while he talks to them, and he called one owner because the tenant called the owner because they didn't know what to do. They was upset about it, so they called the owner. The actual tenant, okay, let me take that back. The tenant was not there, and he had workers there. So she didn't know what to do, so she called the tenant, and he's all on the phone talking about no. I said, what did he say? Because he had him on speaker. I said, did he say no? Because we can leave up out of here because time is of the essence, and there are other things I need to be doing. Okay? Because no means no. Let's just go. We're not going to make him do it. We're not going to make them do it. If you can't step up to the plate as the property manager and let them know this has to be done, what else can I do as the inspector? I'm just simply here to take these pictures and get these questions answered. That's it. All right. But I managed to get it done. And it seemed spread out today because, in fact, it was. Spread it out today. My first one was at 11, not 10. So it started at 11. And my second one, I got over there in like 28 minutes or so and got back over here. That's an hour. Okay? 28 minutes over there and 28 minutes back to be exact. Just for 6 minutes of images. Okay. Y'all don't hear me. I was traveling an hour added together for 6 minutes worth of images. But plus side, it is done. All right. And I just did, of course, what I told you guys don't do. But today had to be an exception to all the rules because some of this stuff has to be done. I got to get it done so that I could just be done for the week and not be looking at these same papers over and over and over again. All right. And this one right here was scheduled for 1:30. It took me 3.5 hours total to do absolutely nothing. Okay. 3.5 hours. But I am finished for the day. And I am going to head home and, do me. Yes, today is a good day. It feels good out here, and I am ready for it. You guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, because I'll be bringing you back something later. I hope you guys enjoyed my little ride along, my little chit-chats, and all that good stuff. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your day.